Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, wherever you are in the world. This is Dr. Jacqueline King, the CEO and founder of Black Women Empowered. And as you know, I always say we bring you amazing people doing amazing things. And of course, tonight will not be a disappointment. I have the famous, the infamous Dr. Yomi Garnett. Uh-oh. Okay, you went out there for a minute. Uh, Dr. Yomi Garnett is a ghostwriter, blogger, book editor, and grant writer. He's a world class ghostwriter, recipient of the 2023 American Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for exemplary services rendered. Oops, lost my thing. Rendered in the creative writing domain. Dr. Garnett is a consummate global player at the most proficient level of ghostwriting and biography advisory, and having deployed rare writing and editorial expert over 80 books, some of which include groundbreaking works on the emergence of women into the arena of global influence, power, is now also considered one of the most prolific surrogate writers in the world, with his peculiar forte being the exceptional ability to write a wide range of tones, genres, genres, and subjects that cover the entire gamut of the human experience. Dr. Gannett, how are you?
Well, I'm not doing too badly, and I'm not complaining because even if I complain, who will listen? Well, I know you will listen, but
You know what?
what's the
You
point?
done got Americanized because that's what the Americans say. Dr. Garnett is from originally from Nigeria, but
Wow.
Dr. Garnett, you I was introduced to you by our good friend Linda Gray, Dr. Linda Gray, and it's been a great experience meeting you. And you are really, really an amazing person. And I mean, I've really never seen anybody that's able to write as well as you are, as well as you do. Um, and as you're coming in, please let us know where you're tuning in from, and also share the broadcast. So, Dr. Garnett, you know what intrigues me about you is that you went to school to be an OBGYN, and you practiced as an obstetrician for many years. And what made you? I mean, this is a big transition.
It is. It's one of the most remarkable career transitions, especially in the mid phase of life. As at the time, I was going to transition from full scale medical practice to creative writing. My classmates in high school were retiring from the Nigerian army at the rank of two-star general.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was a remarkable decision to take. It took a lot of courage because, like I said, my classmates were retiring from a whole lifetime of service in the armed forces and had become two-star generals, some of them almost at the peak of service in the Nigeria police force, some of them as permanent secretaries, what in the United States are called undersecretaries. You understand? So it was a remarkable decision. Well, first of all, Dr. King, thank you very much for your warm introduction, and thank you very much for a friendship that I cherish so much. A friendship that I cherish so much that when you announced me as the official ghostwriter and book editor for your global organization, Black Women Empowered Incorporated, I felt that was one of the greatest honors that had ever been done me in my whole life. And like you very well know, I wear it like a badge of honor. I am
And
so pleased, so delighted to have the privilege of working with someone of your rare and exceptional pedigree.
well, we're really as blessed and honored to have you as our official writer for Black Women Empowered. But so have you always? I mean, in school, believe it or not, well, you've read my poetry, so and you actually gave me an excellent review. Writing was my favorite. English was my favorite subject in school. Is this something that's always been inside you, Dr. Garnett, to be a writer?
Yes. Now, my story, first of all, let me make myself amenable to the instruction you gave a few minutes ago. I speak from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's my base. I'm based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love. Now, now, on my 6th birthday, my father came into my little bedroom, sat down, and was staring at me. And well, I knew he'd come to say happy birthday to me, but he wasn't saying anything. So I sat up on the bed and I was looking at him. And then he said, "You are going to be a medical doctor when you grow up." I said, "Yes, sir. Thank you." That is because my father was my hero. I didn't know any other role model when I was growing up. I saw him as that knight in shining armor, that anything he did, anything he said was just perfect. He said that. He didn't even bother to say happy birthday. He just walked out through the door and then he remembered, then turned back and said, "Oh, incidentally, that was your birthday present." And then he left. So I grew up believing that I was created to be a medical doctor. I couldn't think of anything else. Funnily enough, that same father has a very strong literary bent. He is an orator. He is a writer. But in his own case, he also had an extraordinary mathematical brain. I had only a literary brain, but I didn't know it at that time. I just grew up. But then, when I got to senior high school, I discovered that I was having a little problem with my core science subjects, which is what I need to be a doctor. I was doing very, very well with the English, although I wasn't doing English literature or English literature because I was a pure science student. But I was doing well in subjects like biology, subjects where I had to write essays, like biology, like English, like geography, like Bible knowledge, anything that involved having to write a lot of material. I did very well. But when it came to the core science subjects, mathematics, physics, chemistry, oh my God, I had problems. And it was baffling, but I didn't know what was wrong. Even my father didn't know what was wrong. But when I started my pre-med studies at Oxford in the United Kingdom, my teachers did tell me that, expressed some surprise and said, "Listen, who said you should read medicine? You're not supposed to read medicine. You're supposed to be studying William Shakespeare and writing." And I was only 17 years old then. And that teacher of mine, who was a medical doctor himself at the time, said, "Mark my words, one day you're going to do medical practice because you are a born creative writer. It's just in you." That's what he said. I didn't really understand what he was saying. But anyway, I went to medical school, started in England, did some postgraduate training in England, did quite a bit of it also in my country, Nigeria. Went back to England for some time, came back, and then started practicing. And I practiced for quite some time. Then I started reading a lot of books, nothing to do with medicine. I had my own hospital where I employed about 2 or 3 doctors, and I had specialists like myself coming from the different specialties to take care of patients. When I discovered that I just let my doctors handle everything, while I just sat there in my office and did administrative work and read my books. Self-help books, any kind of book you can think about. I probably read about 2,500 books in my lifetime. Then I started doing a little bit of writing and journals. And then one day I had an epiphany. And just almost as if God said it to me directly. It is time for you to go and now do what I created you for. And that is to write books for people.
So let me ask you something quickly. How long would how long did you practice being an OBGYN?
Well, my total length of years as a graduate medical doctor was 19 years.
Wow.
So if you took out about 6 years for postgraduate training, I'd say about 11 to 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what? You know what you that tells me that it's never too late to switch courses.
No.
You know, God gives us all so many gifts and talents.
Mm.
And you may be good at, like I said, many things, but what is your dying passion? Once you uncover that, you have uncovered your purpose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can tell
And
you.
so
Yeah.
with you, you have done that. And I know that you have written books for famous people. And oh, by the way, Dr. Garnett is also a prince. I had to put that in there, Doc.
That is
he
very
is
true.
he is a
That is very
prince.
yeah.
But you know, there are so many people in our listening audience that have books inside them, but they have no clue where to start, how to get a publisher, how to do anything. So um, one of the reasons I wanted to introduce Dr. Gernard to you is because he can help you if you have a book that you want. Hello, Latasha. Welcome from North Carolina. I'm from Greensboro, before here, before Indiana. Share the broadcast, please, because this is good stuff. We have a genius here before us that can help you write your books. He does biographies. He does grant writing. Everybody, if you knew how many people come to me and say, "Oh, do you know somebody that can write grants?" Well, you know, if you get a good grant writer, you're set for life. If you can get somebody that can write the grants that can get you the money, it's worth an investment, right, Dr. Garnett?
It's an absolute investment. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. And like you
And if
said, it's a question of getting it damn well written.
mhm. And so, all of you that follow us that have nonprofits and you need, you know, grants written, this is his specialty. Um, you may have a story, your life story, or story about your family member, or just fiction, real, and
Or
you
your
never
business.
know
Or your
all of
business.
that,
Yeah.
right? So, Dr. Gannett, tell them, you know, how, well, first of all, Dr. Gannett is in our directory, which you could see going across the bottom of the screen. You can reach out to him by going to the blackwomenempowereddirectory.com and send him a message and get a quote. Because one thing I know for sure, if you don't get started, it's never going to happen. Procrastination is our worst enemy. Hello, Valencia from Texas. Please share the broadcast. We're talking about Dr. Garnett, who is a um, one of the best writers probably I've seen in my lifetime. So he actually writes for Black Women Empowered. He has availed himself to be able to service you all. So if you want to reach out to him, like I said, biography, grant writing, writing your book, all of that stuff, he does. And so, Dr. Garnett, what else do you want to share? I know you're
All
not
right.
feeling 100%, so we're not going to keep you on long, but what else would you like to share?
See, I think the best thing is just to, tell our good people out there, especially the beautiful black women. I have a bias for black women. It's not surprising. See, my mother was a black woman. See, so I have a bias for Black women, like I said, especially because my mother was a Black woman. I'm sure that should not surprise anybody looking at the color of my skin. So, so let me tell our people a little bit about ghostwriting. Most people don't even really know what ghostwriting is. See, I always say that the consummate ghostwriter is a grandmaster at the refined art of extracting adventures and experiences and memories and translating them into the written word. Let me express it simply. The ghostwriter is master at the art of creating authors out of storytellers. The ghostwriter is a master at the art of creating authors out of storytellers. Yet there's another sublime, subtle sublime slant, to the craft of ghostwriting. Now, to display passion, to deploy passion in the form of powerful and emotive current of divine grace, align one to become a privileged conduit of service for the manifestation of divine written creativity. That is ghostwriting.
And Dr. Garnett, so it's really your idea, and he helps develop it because you don't exactly know how to put it into words. So Dr. Garnett is a masterful at taking your thoughts, really, pretty
That's
much,
right. That's right. And your
and
ideas.
turning them into a book. Is that right, Dr. Garnett?
Absolutely. To receive your thoughts and ideas and then synthesize them with such creativity that the entire narrative is translated into words that reflect your voice. Your voice. Ultimately arriving at an outcome that is finished in exquisite literary taste. That is what I do as a ghostwriter.
And you I don't know, do you also do consulting, like if they already have a book and it needs some finishing touches, it needs some extra, do you do that too?
Anything to do with the written word. Some people walk up to me and say, "Oh my God, I've been working on manuscripts for 7 years. It was only day before yesterday somebody told me about you at a restaurant in Manhattan. Now the manuscript is essentially finished. Now I don't know what to do." I said, "Look, the only thing you can do now, if you want my input, is to ask me to edit your manuscript and turn it into a masterpiece, which is a form of ghostwriting." Because most of the time, in the course of my work, I ask people, especially those who are very educated, to give me your words. Let me improve on your words. Let me enhance your creativity. Let me expand. If you give me 1,000 words, for instance, I turn it into 2,000, 3,000 words for a chapter. So it's people approach me at any stage of their book writing process. Some people come purely on virgin territory. They've not even written any word yet. They just know I have this book in me. What do we do, Dr. Garnett? And I say, well, what do you want to write about? You tell me, no problem. Just give me about 2 or 3 paragraphs. You give them to me, and then from your tone in those 2, 3 paragraphs, I know what your title is, your book title and your subtitle. And then, even from the things you mentioned in those 3 paragraphs, as long as that's a concise expression of what you want to express in your book, I can come up with about 10, 11, 12 chapter titles. And probably before you know it, we have a book outline. Your book title, your book subtitle, your chapters. You know this to be true, Dr. King.
That's a blessing. Hello, James
That's
Benson.
yeah,
Hello, Brenda
that's
from
the way we go
Virginia
about it.
and Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, spread the word. Black women in power, we have our own ghostwriter. We have our own biographer. We have our own grant writer. We actually have several grant writers. But listen, this is something that's going to help you. I thought it was very important, Dr. Garnett, and I both have very busy schedules. We really do. But we took the time out tonight so we could bring this to you. Maybe you don't have a book. Maybe you have a friend or a colleague that has a book. Go to our directory, blackwomanempoweredirectory.com. Also, get listed. If you have a business, you want to network with different ones in the directory. You want to get close to 4 million eyeballs that we have on social media on your product. You can join the directory at blackwomanempoweredirectory.com. You can contact Dr. Garnett. You can contact me. There's a whole bunch of people in there that you can connect with. But this is a great opportunity, and we wanted to just come on and let you know that he is writes exclusively, well, not exclusively, but particularly he does writing for BWE, for Black Women in Power, and it's a blessing. So don't miss your blessing. Take advantage of it. Contact them. See if you can get your book out there. Because one thing about it, if it turns out to be a bestseller, you're gonna be set for life. And then what if it turns into a movie? I mean, there's so many ways to go with this, right, Doc?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The beautiful thing about having a very well written book to your name is that, first of all, it announces you anywhere you go. Because let me tell you something, Dr. King, you cannot ignore a well written book. Nobody can. When a book is very well written, people know right from the front cover, from the title alone, and from the back, what's called the back blog. People know that, yes, this is good stuff inside this book. I need to read it. And that serves as some kind of call card for you anywhere you go to. People say, oh, that's the author of that book. Oh, that's the author of that book. Oh, that's the author of that book. And it just opens doors for you. And it's very prestigious to be called an author. There's no doubt about that. Very, very prestigious. And I've devoted my life to making authors out of people. I mean, I've written 110 books for people over the past 6 years in the United States, all over the world anyway. But of course, most of them in the United States. But about 110 books over the past 6 years or less, probably about 5 years. And I have only two books I've written in my own name. I'm author of only 2 books. What does that tell you, Dr. King? I have devoted my time to producing authors out of storytellers instead of plugging it selfishly to myself. Right. I allow people to use me to write their own books. Oh, I can write as many books as I want in my own name. I'll probably do some next year, but I'm not sure. But I'm always busy with good people, good, beautiful Black women out there who want to write their biography. They want to write about their foray into business. They want to write about the trauma they suffered in childhood. I hardly ever have the time to write books on my own. I'm happy to keep it that way.
Well, I want to acknowledge one of our super fans. Yolanda doesn't know that I watch her, but she supports us a lot. Greetings from Florida. You be careful out there. I don't know what part of Florida you're in. I know that storm is coming. And thank you so much for joining. And Yolanda, go ahead and share with your following. You're a very sweet lady. She's been following us for a long time. Mm-hmm. And so I thank you. She tries to come on most of our broadcasts. But anyway, I want you to know that Dr. Garnett is available for you. Again, to write your book. He's ghostwriting. He can help you with your book if you're struggling. You have one, it's not finished. Grant writing is so huge. He does the grant writing and biography. Maybe you just want to tell your life story. But he is the one. Go to blackwomanempoweredirectory.com. Pull up, it's his name is on the screen, Dr. Yomi Garnett. Pull him up, send him a message, let him know that you want to use his services. That's the easiest way to find him, is to go in the directory and send him a message, and he will get back with you. Right, Dr. Garnett?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I know I want you to go ahead and take care of your throat, because I know that that you're not feeling 100%, and we need you. So I'm not going to hold you, any longer. But thank you, Garnett, Dr. Garnett, for your time, and Dr. Natasha. Thank you so much for tuning in from New York. I'm originally from New Jersey, so we have a lot in common. And thank everyone to who joined in. Dr. Lonnie Woods will be on, and what time is it? At 7 o'clock, with a new show. Um, it's really focusing on women in the Bible, and he's going out of uh let's see, the Song of Solomon, I believe that's what he said. But it's going to be really good. He's another amazing doctor from Texas, and he also is a PhD, and he's also an attorney. So he's going to be, and a minister, so he's going to be teaching. So come back at 7 and listen to Dr. Lonnie Woods. Dr. Garnett and I will be back. We'll be back. I'm going to come back when he's feeling 100%, and talk some more. Dr. Garnett, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone. As
It will
always,
be
I
a
tell
pleasure
you,
to come. Yeah, it will be a pleasure to come back with you
thank
because
you.
I know you're just being very compassionate tonight because I have devastating sore throat. So we have unfinished business here. We need to come back and finish it sometime.
Oh, we definitely will when you're at your tip top.
Still,
And as always, I tell you, I love you, and nothing you can do about it. God bless. Don't forget, 7 o'clock,
bless.
6 o'clock Central. Dr. Lonnie Woods will be back. God bless. Love you.
God bless you. Thank you so much and good night.